there! I'm author Sarah A. Chrisman, and today I thought I'd take a little bit of time to say just a few words about what I like to call my Psyche Room. Now, this is partly a story of how much work goes to any given room in restoring a historic home, but it's also the story of the really close relationship between the Victorian era and the classical world, and the transformative nature of the stories we tell and the importance of those stories. Now, when we moved in, oh yes, and Diana has to have her say too. So, there she goes. Our house is a neoclassical, which was a popular style in the Victorian era. And all neoclassicals are, to one extent or another, based around the ancient Greek temples. And one of my favorite Greek legends is the story of Cupid and Psyche. Psyche she started out as the most beautiful mortal who ever lived. And actually there's a reference to her in my book, Love Will Find a Wheel. Jacob is courting Addie and he says she reminds him of Psyche, which makes her blush. But anyhow, the story of Cupid and Psyche is very, very long. Psyche, to shorten it, sum it up, Psyche was essentially Cupid's wife by the end of it. She was the most beautiful mortal who ever lived, and wound up making Venus jealous, because Venus is the goddess of beauty. And the Psyche legend is the basis for a lot of our stories about Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella. And one of the things that winds up happening to Psyche after Venus has cast her out, and before she manages to make her way back to Cupid, otherwise known as Eros, she has to restore a ruined temple. And so as we were restoring this place, and it needed a lot of work, this room, when we moved in, all of the rooms, all, capital A, capital L, capital L, all of the rooms in this house, the plaster was just shattered because it had gotten wet, because the roof was a waterfall. And so we had to restore all the plaster, and you've seen that already if you've seen my other videos, but anyhow. So there was a lot of restoration work, and as we were doing it, I kept thinking of the Psyche legend. Now, in Greek, Psyche is the name of the wife of the god of love, but the word Psyche also means soul or spirit. And she's often portrayed with butterfly wings because butterflies represent this transformative nature of the soul and the power of rebirth. And so the idea of Psyche restoring this ruined temple is another symbol of rebirth. And I thought it was a very important thing to incorporate in our restoration. My den, which you've probably seen that video, that one's got the iconography of Athena, because Athena was the goddess of wisdom, and her temple, the Parthenon in Athens, was the sort of real basis of all neoclassical structures. But I wanted to recognize Psyche as well. And so as part of that, a big part of that, I incorporated her butterflies into this room. It took a long time, but it was worth it. The Psyche legend is a much older story than the Victorian history that we usually focus on, but the fact is that the Victorians had a great respect for the classical world, and history is not just a snapshot of one set of years. History is a layered combination of everything that's come before. And so I really like a constant reminder of that. And like I said, I love the Psyche story, and I love having a constant visual representation of this beautiful story about the transformative nature of the soul and the transformative nature of love. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a nice thumbs up, and remember to tell your friends about my books. Happy reading!